All for One sat in his prison cell, staring at the wall in front of him with a devious grin on his face. He knew that he would never be able to escape for now. He silently chuckled to himself, but that didn't stop him from plotting and scheming. As he sat there, he thought back on his life and all of the atrocities he had committed. He had started out with good intentions, or so they had thought. He had wanted to create a better world, one where people could live without fear or oppression. But as he gained more power, his true nature had emerged. He had become greedy and selfish, caring only for himself and his own desires. He had committed countless acts of violence and cruelty, all in the name of his twisted vision of a perfect world. He had taken quirks from innocent people, leaving them powerless and vulnerable. He had killed heroes and civilians alike, all in the pursuit of his own goals. As he sat there, he couldn't help but wonder if it had all been worth it. His grin grew wider. He had achieved his ultimate goal of becoming the most powerful person in the world, but at what cost? To everyone had lost everything that had ever mattered to him, including his own family. And yet, even as he sat there, he couldn't help himself feel joy for his actions. He had convinced himself that everything he had done was necessary, that he was the only one who could save this world. But now, as he looked back on his life, he realized that he had been right. At this very moment, the powers he wanted, the body he needed, and the enemy he wanted to destroy were all in one place. They had caused immeasurable pain and suffering. And for what? His own selfish desires. It was laughable at best, but he knew that he had to face the truth. He had been a monster, and there was no way to undo the damage he had done. As he sat there, lost in his thoughts, he heard a voice from outside his cell. It was a young hero, one who had been tasked with interviewing him about his past. All for One smirked, knowing that he would have to relive his atrocities once again. But as he began to speak, something inside of him shifted. He began to see his actions in a new light, as if he was looking at them for the first time. And as he spoke, he found that he was anticipating what would happen next for his maniacal deeds. It was such a delightful process to watch this young hero squirm, but as he continued to talk, he felt a wave of peace as he saw the terror in his eyes. He knew that he could never undo the damage he had done, but he also knew that he could use his experiences to prevent others from following in his footsteps. He would be the only king of the world. In the end, All for One realized that he could never atone for his past, but he also knew that he could use his knowledge and his power to make a difference in the world, to help prevent others from making the same mistakes these heroes made. And so, as he sat in his cell, he vowed to use his remaining days to do just that. Looking directly at his interviewer and sarcastically saying, "But life was never meant to be easy for you. Isn't that right, Izuku?"